Bolingbrook bloodied Fenwick to set the tone for tonight's state championship game. The defending state champion Rebels versus the Friars, next on the IHSA TV network.
This one against number 1 Bolingbrook. Hello and welcome to Illinois State University. I'm Lee Hall. Fenwick trying to bring home their second state championship under legendary coach Dave Power. Anthony Smith and the Raiders trying to make it 2 in a row. Here for the call of tonight's championship game, Dave Bernhardt and Daryl Kipp.
Thank you very much, Lee. And, we talk about 1 versus 3 in the nation, number 6 versus 15. The bottom line, Daryl, what a great night for girls high school basketball.
Oh, it sure is. And this game is going to be seen all over the United States, so I think it's something to Illinois basketball be proud of, and especially the Bolingbrook community and Fenwick High School.
These two teams have been pointing to this game all season long. Here's how they got here through the tournament trail. First of all, for the Bolingbrook Raiders, they have been annihilating their opponents all the way through, allowing only 25 points per game. In the semifinals today, more than only 13 points. For Fenwick, they too have been dominating in their own way. And of course, it was in the semifinals today, 14-point winners over Marian Catholic to punch their ticket to the state championship ball game. Well, you take a look at these two teams, great players. One of them for Bolingbrook, we've talked about her before. That's Brittany Thomas.
You get familiar faces in familiar places, and this is exactly where Brittany Thomas should be on a night like this.
For Fenwick, stars galore. We highlight the coach's daughter. It's Erin Power.
Erin Power is a coach on the floor, and Dave has moved her to point guard. Last time they played, Holly Harvey had a little problem seeing over the defense because of her height, so Erin's a lot taller. They moved her to point guard, and he thinks that's going to be a big help. Erin's a great passer.
Let's take a look at tonight's Chevy's keys to the games for the championship game. Brought to you by your Chevy dealers, proud to support high school athletes and their families. Best of luck in the tournament from your winning Chevy team. Here's Bolingbrook's keys.
Bolingbrook's got to keep their composure and not be so physical out on the floor. They need to hit from the outside because last time Pooh Gerald's had some outside shots in the Chicagoland Challenge, and they're going to need that. And they need to get Fenwick's inside players into some foul trouble. That would help them a lot.
Let's take a look at what Fenwick has to do tonight.
Fenwick's got to control the boards and not let Mobley and Adams go crazy on the inside. They got to go inside out. They got to get the ball to the inside and then pass it back out for their three-point shooters. And they have to spread the floor out so that Bolingbrook can't double team.
Let's go crown ourselves a state championship. But first, let's go to our public address announcer, Jeff Fritzen.
Fans, we ask that you please remember and honor the men and women of the United States Armed Forces serving throughout the world with a moment of silence. Thank you. We now ask you to join our guest soloist, Benjamin Laxton, a student at Normal Community High School, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for the 2007 championship game of the IHSA Class AA March Madness for girls basketball. First, from Bolingbrook, a sophomore, number 14, Satavia Taylor. From Fenwick High School of Oak Park, a senior, number 10, Holly Harvey. For Bolingbrook, a senior, number 15, Samantha Woods. For Fenwick, a senior, number 12, Allison Jackson. For Bolingbrook, a junior, number 20, Janisha Geralds. For Fenwick, a senior, number 14, Devereaux Peters. From Bolingbrook, a senior, number 22, Brittany Thomas. For Fenwick, a senior, number 21, Erin Power. For Bolingbrook, a senior, number 40, Shantina Boyd. And for Fenwick, a freshman, number 32, Trisha Liston. Bolingbrook brings a 32-1 record into tonight's game. The Raiders are coached by Anthony Smith in his 6th season with a record of 167 wins, 17 losses. Fenwick brings a 35-2 record into the game. The Friars are coached by Dave Power in his 15th year at Fenwick with a record of 382 wins and 97 losses. Your state championship officials, Bruce Brzezinski, Sal Basta, and John Newcomb.
Let's take a look at the 10 players who will be starting this state championship ball game. For the Bolingbrook Raiders, Samantha Woods, the former Fenwick player, played her first 2 years at Fenwick. She, along with Brittany Thomas in double figures, of course, will be Miranda Tate, Mauveline Adams will be off the bench for Bolingbrook. For Fenwick, they start 4 seniors and a freshman. Trisha Liston is that freshman. Erin Power averages 7 assists per game. Devereaux Peters at 18 points and 10 rebounds the last time these two teams met.
And Trisha Liston is probably the most accomplished freshman I've seen in the state tournament final game since Nora Lewis. Great player from Peoria Richwood.
You know, and Trisha Liston gets lost in the crowd a little bit. She was playing with 4 seniors. She says it's an honor to play with these seniors, Holly Harvey, Allison Jackson, Devereaux Peters, and Erin Power. But you don't know she's a freshman when she's out there on the floor.
Well, I wish I had at Maine West a senior that played like Trisha Liston. She plays like an older person.
Each of these two teams has a state championship, and they will look to do this one again. Possession 2. Bolingbrook.
A little confusion, but I got it straightened out. Fenwick's going to open up in a 2-3 zone.
The zone earlier today, and Morton put up, bothered Bolingbrook a little bit.
When they played in the Chicagoland Challenge, they hit some three-point shots. Pooh Gerald's had a three-point shot, and of course their other outside three-point shot possibilities come from Brittany Thomas, but not as much as the girl right there, Samantha Woods.
Thomas, penetration. Boyd, baseline. The rebound to Liston.
Bolingbrook is going to open up in a man-to-man.
Matchups look like this. Boyd on Peters. Peters holds right now. Power will have to shake loose from Gerald.
Well, they moved Erin Power up to the point guard a little bit more so she can see over the defense.
We're going to let Devereaux Peters go one-on-one here, and she traveled. Take a look at Bolingbrook and Fenwick. Bolingbrook High School from the city of Bolingbrook, Will County, Southwest Suburban Conference, big school, almost 3,500. Fenwick resides in Oak Park, that's Cook County. East Suburban Catholic Conference, been a big tournament for their East Suburban Catholic, Marion Catholic, picking up the 3rd place trophy earlier tonight.
It's going to be interesting to see how Bolingbrook attacks his defense. This afternoon, they didn't do a whole lot of moving against Morton. A lot of standing around.
Geralds with the block by Peters. Look at Devereaux Peters run the floor, and look at Geralds denying the easy bucket for the Friars. How about that?
That was just great hustle.
These two schools not located too far from each other, just on the suburban Chicago area on the outline of the city. They made their way down to Normal, and this is a very familiar trip for each of these two clubs.
Holly Harvey got a lot of runouts against Marion Catholic, and they were looking for the same situation there, but Pooh Gerald's just hustled back, understanding what they were going to try to do.
A steal by Peters. You know, we talk all about the Bolingbrook defense, and deservedly so. Sometimes Fenwick's defense gets lost in those numbers a little bit.
And Fenwick's awfully talented with their inside players, and to shoot inside is tough against them.
Liston used up the dribble a little early. Here's Allison Jackson. This floor tonight here at Redbird Arena, Doug Collins Court, is loaded with future Division I players. This is one right here. Jackson going to Ohio State. She'll give it back to Aaron Power.
Ohio State against Michigan State right there.
They'll stay down at that end. Oh, you have Brittany Thomas, Michigan State. Take a look at Bolingbrook's tournament history. Pretty flashy indeed here in the last 3 years. Looking to go back-to-back with that state title trophy. Chantina Boyd going to Northwestern. Samantha Woods to Purdue. Mauveline Adams from Northern Illinois when she comes into the ball game for Bolingbrook.
And Aaron Power's been going to Penn in the Ivy League.
We have Devereaux Peters headed to Notre Dame.
Fighting Irish. We're playing for Muffet McGraw there. We're joining Lindsay Schrader, who played down here a couple of years ago. Lindsay had an ACL this year and didn't get to really participate a whole lot in their season, so she redshirted.
Tricia Liston puts her first points and our game's first points on the board. Satavia Taylor, as she has, we've seen in the tournament, gets a couple of minutes in under her belt and then replaced by Mauveline Adams.
And that's a quick substitution for Coach Smith.
2-0 Fenwick. A good look at the 2-3 zone. Arms extended on the front of that zone to deny the pass inside. Adams goes up against Jackson.
The arms extended or something, but people don't realize how long arms Aaron Power has up on the top of that zone.
Dave Power, his dad Al, watching this game back in Pennsylvania on the internet. So welcome, Al, to IHSA basketball and your son's quest for his second state championship. Trouble from Adams. And Power wondering how she could get a held ball out of that situation when Adams was laying on her. Possession to the Friars, though.
Dave Power looks a little nervous on the sideline. It's because he's getting married this summer. And Marianne is probably watching the game, but he's probably worried about the wedding right now. I don't think he's even thinking about basketball. I hope I get a good seat. Bringing that up.
Gerald jumps out on Liston, denying the three-point attempt. We saw Tricia hit some earlier today in the semifinals. The catch by Peters.
Right there, you saw the inside pass, but you saw Bolingbrook's defense collapse quickly, and that's what they did at the Chicagoland Challenge. 3 people on defense, someone's got to be open. It's got to be an inside-out situation for easy shots.
Timeout on the floor. Fenwick, a couple of free throws. That's the difference. We'll be back after this. For all you Immaculate Heart of Mary fans, no, we didn't forget Dave Power won a state title in 1987, but he did get that championship with Fenwick in 2001. And you're looking at Fenwick Friars and the girls AA state championship from Redbird Arena.
That was Michelle Savage and Chris Muscala, who are comparable to his 2 All-Stars now, Devereaux Peters and Allison Jackson. And I was just telling you the story that Dave promised me if we let him win it in 87, that he would let us win it in 88, and it worked out that way. He won the title in 87 over Massac County, and we won in 88 over York High School.
There's a few other people who would be willing to make those deals as well.
It worked out that way. It was pretty nice of Dave to let me do that, too.
Liston guarded by Adams. Peters against Woods. Former teammates both now headed to
There's
Purdue.
the inside out. That's going to be open. Boom. Oh.
Right
long.
Long, a little bit too long. Here comes Thomas the other way for Bolingbrook, looking for their first points of this championship game. Miranda Tate into the game. Doesn't take her long to put it up, but it won't take Mauveline Adams long to get to the free throw line.
Transition baskets cause fouls, and that's what happened. Mauveline Adams got down, got the position. It was like 2-on-1 down there.
Now in the semifinal today, Bolingbrook was kind of content to play a slower pace game. I don't know that they really want to do that here this evening.
Well, they don't want to run, but they will take advantage of mismatches like that.
Adams has been in double figures in each of the 2 games that she's played downstate. It's the 3rd straight year Bolingbrook has played on the final night of girls high school basketball season. We're coming up on the midway portion of the first quarter, and we do not have a field goal. 2 free throws by Tricia Liston. That's the difference you see in the board. Interesting how Bolingbrook switches up their defensive assignments. That's a foul on Tate.
Well, in the Chicagoland Challenge, when it was a very close game, Erin Power was taken out of the game with an elbow to the nose and missed about a quarter or a little bit more, and that made a huge difference in the final score also. Fenwick is not as deep as Bolingbrook.
That loss on November 25th has been avenged twice here this season. Earlier on in the semifinals was one of them. Bolingbrook still looking to get on the scoreboard here with 3:40 to play in the first quarter. Adams with the follow.
Mobley and Adams just working their way under the basket. Get those easy little putbacks. That's got to be stopped if Fenwick is going to be able to stay in this game.
Thomas takes the charge from Liston. Fenwick, 18 of their last 19 in that defeat on February 6th to Marist. That came in a big, tough stretch for Fenwick. That was part of a 4-game and 5-day stretch for the Friars.
And Kelsey James hit a lot of three-point shots in that game down the stretch.
Marist, a team that we thought we might see down here, but Marian Catholic had other ideas. Adams been deadly from there in this tournament. And Peters will take down another rebound. That's her 3rd already here in the first quarter.
Mobley and Adams is going to rush her shots a little bit in this game because of Devereaux Peters being in there. They played against each other, and Devereaux's got those long arms and patrols that middle.
Hesitation move on the baseline for Peters. And now Gerald's will look to run. The numbers against her. And they maybe tried to do a bit too much.
Devereaux has fallen down, hurting her elbow a little bit. You saw what happened when Devereaux drove the baseline. 4 people converged on her, and there were 3 people standing wide open about the free throw line or free throw line extended. They got to find those people if they're going to be doing some scoring against Bolingbrook.
We've not had much scoring tonight. Just 2 free throws from Liston and an offensive putback by Adams. Harvey gets the touch outside. She had some big threes in the semifinal today against Marian Catholic. They find Jackson, fights, scraps. Peters will finish.
Samantha Woods inside the foul.
And Samantha Woods played right alongside Devereaux Peters, part of that Fab Five that came here 4 years ago. Devereaux Peters, Allison Jackson, Erin Power, Holly Harvey, and Samantha Woods, who after her sophomore year transferred to Bolingbrook. And it's interesting to note that Peters and Woods will reunite at Notre Dame next year. For the 3-point play from Peters. Not to be.
We see what Bolingbrook is going to do. They're running a kind of 3 out, 4 out, and 1 in type offense.
Kiara Marshall has come into the game for the Raiders.
There's not a lot of movement on this.
The only movement you see is Marshall flying through in the baseline. Adams, triple team, will give it back to Thomas.
Oh, that's a walk. Took a lot of steps in there.
4th turnover in the first quarter here for Bolingbrook.
Fenwick's backing off of Brittany Thomas at the top of the key, just offering a shot to her. She's not the best outside shooter. She's better going to the basket in the medium range. And they're kind of packing it up inside.
It's Woods on Liston. Power will look to create. And Miranda Tate thought she was the one that had been pushed. And
A technical foul.
we had seen that earlier in the semifinals, a technical against Bolingbrook. Now Tate will get called for the personal foul.
And that's what I meant in the keys of the game of keeping your composure.
It will be that type of night. Tate with the personal and the technical, so that's 2 fouls now on Tate, just like that. Liston, 2 free throws.
It's actually a foul using the arm bar, and that's what they're doing. They're using their forearm to play defense instead of using their body and their feet.
Liston makes the first. He's perfect from the line in 3 attempts tonight. And a 6-2 Friar lead with the 1:18 mark of the first quarter here in your girls AA state championship game. Anthony Smith having a conversation with his 5'11" junior Miranda Tate. Two free throws in the basketball. That's what Fenwick has in front of them, and a 4-point lead. Only 1 field goal tonight for the Friars, and we're down to our final 60 seconds of the first quarter.
It looked like they were trying to go high-low, and they're trying to get more. Mobley Adams is also arm-barring inside.
Thomas from the backside with the steal. Thomas got Peters up in the air. Nice dish inside for the layup from Adams. You hang around and Brittany Thomas will find you. Woods eyeing Liston. What a nice matchup here. Freshman versus senior. You know, give credit that time defensively to Bolingbrook. And the thing we talk about, when we talk about Brittany Thomas getting the individual steals, she averages about 6 per game, but it's the great team defense that the Raiders play.
And they're forcing Fenwick on the baseline, and then they're doubling them, and that's not been a good situation for Fenwick. They turned it over 3 times over there.
Down to the final 4 seconds, they're still directing traffic. Woods wants to force a left-handed shot up. Poor clock awareness by Bolingbrook to close out the first quarter. This is the girls' AA state championship battle. Fenwick by 2, 6-4, and we've got that second quarter coming up right after these local messages.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena. The Fenwick fans are fired up. That's Dominic Bolton. He's a lineman, offensive, defensive lineman, doing a little Cotton Eye Joe. Backed by popular acclaim. He did this halftime of the consolation game. Look at him go. Here we go. All right. Nice job, buddy. Couldn't do it without my own lineman.
Oh, I got you, baby. I got you.
All right, the Friar fans are fired up, Dave, and why not?
There you go. That's a good shot there.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's a great shot.
It is. Oh, man.
You know, the basketball down here is important for the kids that are playing, but the communities and the kids in the school get involved like this. It really makes it worthwhile. These kids will always remember this, even the kids that didn't play.
We've played 1 quarter in this game, and already we've set a title game record in terms of fewest points scored in a quarter. We just have 10 points here. The previous record was set in 2004 in the title game in the first quarter when Naperville Central and New Trier played to a 6-6 tie and only scored 12 points.
Mobley and Adams trying to do just a little bit too much off the bounce.
Four of these 10 points have come to from the free throw line by Tricia Liston. You know, we're watching the play on the floor, but if you look right through the play down here where Bolingbrook just came up with the steal, the Morton fans, the Morton students are still here, and they are still having a good time. Their team was defeated in the semifinals, but they are really cranking it up, and they've stuck around. That's great, too.
And they're cheering for Fenwick, and the Fenwick stands are cheering for them. So the whole side of the gym is cheering for Fenwick, and the other side with the Marion fans,
you're right,
they're cheering for Bolingbrook.
You know, as I look around, Darryl, this may be as big a crowd for both schools, all four schools that have stuck around for this championship game, and that's very interesting that would take place as we take a look at Menard's first quarter stats. Save big money at Menard's. Numbers are very small. Why not? Just 10 points on the board. Neither team really shooting very well. Really only 11 shots taken in that first quarter combined by these two clubs.
A lot of turnovers.
Harvey initiates contact. Yeah, we already have 12 turnovers in this game. 12 turnovers and 10 points.
Yeah, one of the things that was mentioned too is Elk Grove 81 game just by a few people with the points scored in the quarter. Marcia Krish, who's the great coach from Elk Grove, retired this year, and they had a big ceremony in the Central Suburban League Championship game. And she'll be missed also from high school basketball.
Allison Jackson will give the Friars from Fenwick a 4-point lead. Satavia Taylor back in the ball game for Bolingbrook. Tough pass inside. Woods finds Adams. And the rebound to Liston.
Adams just didn't square his shoulders to the basket.
Peters from the free throw line. Has such a sweet release on that jumper. A 10-4 Fenwick lead.
And she has improved that over the last year tremendously. Her outside shot was a little suspect last year, but she's really developed that shot and worked on it.
Thomas can't find the range from inside. Fenwick right now looks to be a little bit more in control of their offense.
A little bit more composure for Fenwick.
Here's Power. Allison Jackson sees an opening. Whistle inside. There's only one white jersey there. That's Aaron Power. Season low scoring numbers in a game took place just a few hours ago in that 36-13 win over Morton for Bolingbrook.
And Miranda Tate's entering again after talking to Coach about those forearm bars. Hopefully she won't be doing that for him now, so she can stay in the game. A big key, Miranda Tate on those outside shots.
Going to say Anthony Smith kept her out, held her out, made sure she was settled down, but he needs her offense in this game.
They need her three-point shot against his zone.
She comes and gets it at the top right now. And they're not giving Samantha Woods a good look out there either. Tate finds it, buys it. Three minutes gone in the second quarter of your girls AA state championship matchup. 35-2 Fenwick Friars against the 32-1 Bolingbrook Raiders. Raiders looking to go back-to-back with state championships. That's a walk on Peters.
Devereaux's got that wide open shot right from the free throw line, but she's trying to take it into traffic. If she just pull up and take that shot, she'd be a lot better off.
4:48 to play in the first half. It's a 10-6 Fenwick lead, and we'll be right back here at Redbird Arena right after these words from your local sponsors.
All right, and we are back, and I get to hold the bones now for Bolingbrook. I'm with Johnny Depp on my right. Is that right?
No, that's Dave Zucker. Yeah.
Dave, tell me about this tradition. You guys are here every year with Bolingbrook.
Hey, the Lady Raiders, man, can't beat it. They're the best.
Now, who made these shirts for you?
Dave's wife.
Those are beautiful. You ought to market those.
Oh, my God.
We're under attack.
Raider fans.
They're very rambunctious. All right. Johnny Depp and his buddy are going to go back to watching the game. We're going to send it back to you.
Again, it doesn't matter what age you are, you come downstate, it's all about having a good time.
Now, when you're playing this zone, you have to identify where Miranda Tate, she's moving around from side to side. You have to identify where she is and not let her get those open looks.
She's sitting at the top right now. And that's a walk. Right idea, feet just didn't cooperate for Miranda Tate.
The middle of the zone is open, and Bolingbrook again is just like Fenwick was trying to take it all the way to the basket instead of settling for that medium range shot.
to the left side and Harvey. The return to Peters, can't hang on. And that will be an offensive foul on Devereaux Peters.
That's a pretty questionable call by John Newcomb, Mike. Kind of a loose ball, nobody really had control.
And Dave Power's face says it all. That's the second foul.
Second foul on Devereaux Peters.
Fifth team foul on Fenwick.
John's an excellent official, however, so I wish I'd had him in my sectional game.
They earned their way here. Nice pass inside Adams to Tate. That's a tough shot. She's going to get 2 free throws out of it. Miranda Tate to the free throw line. She's a 78% free throw shooter. Five foot 11-inch junior. Actually, the second leading scorer on the season for Bolingbrook with those 12.8 points per game. Tricia Liston will be the first person to have a seat for Fenwick today, replaced by Serafina Nuzzo, 5'7" sophomore. And here comes Camille Ramsey. She'll get her first appearance today for Bolingbrook. Replaces Samantha Woods.
This is interesting. Fenwick went a little bit smaller, and Coach Smith took an opportunity to go a little bit smaller too. So they kind of matched up, and there's no advantage really.
Three-point difference on the board. The lead belongs to Fenwick. If Jackson tries to create on Thomas. There are future Big Ten players there. Thomas bats it away, and great job there by Power to save it. And again, Thomas, yet another steal. Gerald's is bumped by Harvey. For 3 years, we've sat courtside talking about Brittany Thomas and the things that she does. All of a sudden, she shows up in all the right places defensively.
Especially in the defensive end. She's just got a great instinct for the ball.
Janisha Gerald's a 5'6" junior. The scoring they get out of her is a bonus. One and one here. Free throw here makes it a 1-point game. Devereaux Peters, you saw her just for a second there on the Fenwick bench. And Gerald's goes 2 for 2 from the line. Lauren Gula also into the ball game now for the Friars, 5'11" junior.
A transfer from Nazareth this year that came in, and she's a very good passer, but not the player that Devereaux Peters is.
Allison Jackson will look to step up a little bit here with Peters on the bench. Holly Harvey will back it out in the dribble. Under 3 to play.
Dave's just trying to buy some time, I think, here.
Harvey wants to hit that baseline. Forces it up and in. Well, sometimes you don't need to square those shoulders.
Well, you don't expect that from Holly Harvey going in over the top of all those big Bolingbrook kids.
Pushes that Friars lead back up to 3. Tate to tie. And she'll get a chance at the free throw line, fouled by Serafina Nuzzo. And the game plan is to make sure Tate doesn't get a good look, but it's not to put her at the line for 3 free throws.
Well, sometimes that's called on a shot, and sometimes it's after the shot, but they're going to give her the 3 free throws, saying it was on the follow-through.
That's 1.
She's got a chance to tie the ball game here at the line with no defense.
State rankings, Bolingbrook number 1, Fenwick number 3. National rankings, according to USA Today, has the Raiders at number 6, Fenwick at 15. Kurt Pegler mentioned before the ball game there may not be any other state in a country that can put two nationally ranked teams, two teams ranked in the top 15 against each other in the state title game. And we are tied at 12. Good job inside by Ramsey. However, the finish goes to Gula picking up the free ball.
Right place, right time.
Bolingbrook had battled back, having a tough time scoring tonight. Notched it at 12, and then Gula off the bench for the Fenwick lead. Each school looking for their second state title.
Bolingbrook has only one true perimeter shooter in the game right now, so they're probably trying to look to go inside with the ball.
The skip to Ramsey. Long arms there by Power.
We talked about her long arms before.
Jackson kick out. Harvey can hit it. And now the Raiders with a minute 10 to play here in the first half. A chance to tie with the long one for the lead.
And they're rotating Tate over to this wing.
And again, Power gets her hand on the ball. She's so deceptive. I mean, she stands, she has the good height, 6'1". However, as you said, her arms all of a sudden just extend out, and you get about an extra 6 inches on her.
She's very smart, too. I mean, not only academically, but on the basketball floor. And, you know, her dad's been around for a long time. She's been around basketball forever, so she kind of anticipates what's going to go on and really knows the game. In fact, Dave, I think, thinks she coaches the team more than he does.
Woods wanted that ball a little bit sooner. She was spotting up for a three.
Yeah, they're trying to look for the three-point shot now.
Exchange, Adams to Woods. Allison Jackson a rebound, fouled by Thomas. First foul on Brittany Thomas. Be the 7th team foul on Bolingbrook, so that will send Allison Jackson to the free throw line. 2 points tonight for Allison, averages 12.9 on the season.
Fenwick's getting some real good time here from Nuzzo and Lauren Gula.
He has Liston and Peters on the bench. Thomas with Woods going down, so nobody was home. Dave Power says we want one shot.
In a game like this, it would have been good for Bolingbrook just to hold for the last shot instead of pushing it right there, but we'll see. I think Fenwick's probably going to try to do that.
Bolingbrook may have other plans here.
Look up. Oh.
Harvey stopped just short of half court, and now Jackson has it with 20 on the clock. With 10. Power with 7. In a little bit of trouble. There's Jackson in the lane. Has to get it off. She does. And that closes out our half.
A good shot attempt, though.
Fenwick, Bolingbrook separated by a deuce.
And the big thing right there is that Devereaux Peters got through the rest of the half without another foul.
Well, and you made the great point just seconds ago that Dave Power got good minutes from his bench there to keep Peters on the bench, along with Liston to protect them, to save them a little bit.
Right.
Big crowd here at Redbird Arena. A lot of them still wearing red, as we said. Morton still hanging around, as is Marion Catholic. Let's go down right now to Lee Hall.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. We're with Dave Power. You talked about Bolingbrook's defense with me before the game. Your defense is pretty good there, too.
Yeah, our defense has been containing them, but we need to do a lot better execution on offense. I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. Yeah, the defense on both ends has been pretty sticky. It's great to see Holly have that big bucket finish and Gula come in off the bench, gives a little help. We're not too bad of foul trouble, so I think we'll be all right the second half. We'll be fully loaded and ready to go.
All right, Coach, good luck to you. Thanks a lot. Dave Power of Fenwick, his team takes a 14-12 lead to the locker room here at Redbird Arena. We will be back with the trophy presentations for 3rd and 4th place right after this.
Head coach, Bob Becker. Assistant coach, Dan Stimpert. Assistant coach, Bill Davis. Manager, Todd Bisping. Manager, Bill Shook. Manager, Gary Main. Manager, Bobby Becker. Manager, Ben Main. And now let's meet the Potter players. Number 3, Cecilia Doan. Number 5, Tracy Pontius. Number 10, Keegan Ryan. Number 11, Julia Bodnarova. Number 12, Jamie Buckman. Number 15, Amy Anderson. Number 20, Megan Schoen. Number 21, Sarah Hendricks. Number 23, Brooke Bisping. Number 25, Sydney Stahlberg. Number 34, Lisa Byard. And number 53, Ashton Mertens. At this time, please meet the Spartans of Marion Catholic, who finished the 2006-2007 season in 3rd place with a final record of 29 wins, 4 losses. First meet the president of Marion Catholic High School, Sister Mary Paul McGahee. The principal, Sister Kathleen Ann Tate. Athletic Director Jody Hocker. Athletic Trainer Eric Burkhardt. Head Coach Annie Basic. Assistant Coach Stephanie Smith. Assistant Coach Mike Deneen. Assistant Coach Jamie Brown. Manager Fallon Dandridge. And now the Spartan players. Number 2, Mia Giannetti. Number 3, Patrice King. Number 11, Alex Barone. Number 10, Brianne Amadio. Number 12, Alicia Ferry. Number 15, Kayla Turner. 21, Jacqueline Arico. 22, Jennifer Zala. Number 23, Michelle Jelinek. Number 24, Tracy Walsh. Number 31, Caitlin Pauley. Number 32, Suzanne Grossnickel. Number 34, Sarah Pillen. 42, Danielle Pillen. And number 50, Mallory Eggert. And now will Coach Bob Becker and the captains of Morton High School please step forward to receive the 4th place trophy. And now will Coach Annie Basic and the captains of Marion Catholic High School please step forward to receive the 3rd place trophy.
Congratulations to Marion Catholic and to Morton for the 3rd and 4th place finishes in this year's 2007 Girls Class AA Tournament. We've got a champion to crown, and we're at the half. It's Fenwick 14, Bolingbrook 12. Stay right there. A lot more coming up from Redbird Arena right after these local messages.
Halftime at Redbird Arena, Class AA Girls State Basketball Championship game. Oak Park Fenwick leads Bolingbrook 14-12. Kurt Pegler along with Chris Borsch. She is the Orland Park Sandburg head coach. Tom McKenna, St. Ignatius in downtown Chicago. Well, we talked a little bit about the statistics brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. We mentioned that turnovers would be big, and that's the case, isn't it, Chris?
Exactly. We've got Fenwick with 10 turnovers, and then we have Bolingbrook with 9. So it's still close, and that kind of shows you what the game's like, too. And the shooting percentage, the other thing. Right now, Fenwick is shooting 45%, and Bolingbrook is shooting 25%.
As much as we talked about this game being a heavyweight fight between two heavyweight teams, they've really struggled to put points on the board, haven't they?
Well, this is the lowest first half combined score in championship history in AA. I think the intensity level is so high, it's kind of taken away their finesse, and I think we'll see it open up in the second half.
So if you are the coaching staff from either team, give me what your strategy is. If you're Fenwick, Chris, what are you doing in the second half?
Just telling them to calm down a little bit, relax, work the ball around, get the easy shots, because if you get the easy shots, then the other ones will fall.
Tom, you're Bolingbrook. What happens in the second half? What are you telling your team?
I think you almost want to kick up the defensive pressure a little bit, see if you can't score some more in turnovers, because that's a big plus for them in scoring ability.
Fenwick with a 2-point lead at the half. It's 14-12 Class AA Girls State Championship game. Back with more from Normal after these local messages.
It may be the lowest scoring half in title game history, but Fenwick really cares about the 2-point lead. Welcome back to Redbird Arena. Dave Bernhardt and Daryl Kipp. Let's take a look at our first half highlights in this ball game. Granted, not too many to be had, but you start picking up inside buckets like Mauveline. Adams did right there. Bolingbrook can make a little bit of a move. And how about this? Allison Jackson, so tough, headed to Ohio State. She banks those two in. And you take a look very quickly here, Daryl. These two teams, Dave Power, Anthony Smith, is either coach really happy coming back out here in the third quarter with what went on in the first half?
Well, I think they're probably happy because the game's still in balance. But, Fenwick's flat 2-3 zone has really taken Mauveline Adams out of the game. And for Bolingbrook, she's going to have to do some scoring if they want to win this game. And Allison Jackson has really been a non-factor so far. She's a terrific player, but she's not getting to the basket, and she's really not getting open looks. So whichever one of those two players breaks out, I think that team's going to have a huge advantage in the second half.
And that second half comes up next. Stay right there. We've got final 32 minutes of basketball in the 2007 season coming your way. The Fenwick Friars, state champs in 2001. The Bolingbrook Raiders did it last year. Who's going to pick up the second big trophy? A 2-point game as we enter the third quarter. 14-12. Tricia Liston back in the ball game. She got a pretty good breather there in the second quarter for Fenwick. Original starting lineup on the floor for Fenwick.
And the matchups are interesting. You got Pooh Gerald's guard and Aaron Power. That'd be a mismatch.
Peters powers her way in against Shantina Boyd. Thought she saw a little mismatch there in terms of quickness against Boyd, and she's going to earn herself 2 from the free throw line.
Well, Mauveline Adams is a better defender than Shantina Boyd, but she has a lot of fouls to give, and that's why she's been starting.
Peters missed her only free throw earlier today.
And here she comes back in the ballgame.
Took all of 16 seconds for Adams to return. Shantina Boyd, 6'2" senior. Peters making a 4-point game here early in the third quarter. Peters averaging 16.4 points per game.
We'll see if there's any big adjustments from Coach Smith on the offense after the halftime break.
Beyond Adams' range from out there in the corner. That's inside Samantha Wood's range. A strong board by Peters. Got the inside position on Adams.
Well, they're in, which doesn't give Bolingbrook a whole lot of rebounding potential in there. And Adams had to come from the outside to try to get that, and of course Peters had the inside position because of her defensive situation.
Jackson just kind of backed away in a little bit, stumbled, and that's a traveling call, and that's yet another turnover. 11 turnovers for Fenwick, 9 for Bolingbrook.
Well, Bolingbrook, again, they're collapsing so much in the key area that if you go to the key and then kick out, you're going to have openings. But if you keep going to the basket, you're going to get triple teamed, and that's what happened there. Not a lot of openings getting all the way to the basket. Peters took it on the baseline, not through the middle.
Miranda Tate came back in that last dead ball. She has the touch here. Thomas double teamed on that baseline. Adams, Thomas, tough shot, can't roll it over.
That's a tough rebound by Peters inside. She really stretched out her arms to get that, and could have been an over the back call, but it's just a jump ball.
Brittany Thomas just looking to make something happen there. Thomas follows her shot nicely. This time it's Liston with the board. Minute and a half into the third quarter. Bolingbrook, 12 points on the board, none here in the third. Again, no field goals yet. There's 2 free throws by Peters. Faces up on Adams, left it short. Here comes Gerald. Nice help job done there in the Fenwick zone to prevent penetration from Gerald.
And they got Miranda Tate coming to the weak side here.
Adams, soft touch. She has 6 points. Makes it a 2-point game once again. Power and Tate. Power goes with the left hand. Now Thomas wants to push a little bit, had Tate ahead momentarily. A lazy pass on the cross-court pass results in a turnover. Turnover number 10 for the Raiders.
Rule number 1, don't throw the ball across court against the zone.
Give Liston a little bit of room. She can sting you from there. There she is. That board was all Mauveline Adams right there.
Well, there wasn't too many rebounders under the basket in that situation, taking a long 3.
Bolingbrook a chance to tie here. Geralds wants more than that, and she does!
And that's what she did in the Chicagoland Challenge, and that ignited them, hitting that shot from exactly the same wing.
And just like that, Bolingbrook has taken the 1-point lead. And the Bolingbrook fans come alive. Liston, baseline. Tate kept it alive. Adams snags it. And Bolingbrook, I believe this is the first time tonight they have had the ball and the lead. Adams works on Peters. Tate. Long tip out to Adams. And it will be Fenwick basketball. Timeout on the floor. 4 minutes and 1 second left in the third. We break with Bolingbrook, the 1-point lead. Back after these local messages.
And we are back, a 1-point game here in the third quarter, and the unsung heroes of every state tournament, the officials. John Newcomb is right in front of us. He's retiring from officiating after 30 years out on the floor. This is his lovely wife, Lori. What kind of thoughts are going through your head tonight, last time seeing him out on the court?
Well, as I was getting this bag ready tonight, I thought, wow, this is the last time I'll be folding up this shirt and putting it in that bag. You know, I've been with him, almost 25 years, so it'll be different.
Yeah.
It'll be different.
Why does he do this? It's kind of a thankless job. Why does he keep going out and doing it year after year?
Really, the exercise. We meet a lot of good people, a lot of coaches, a lot of other officials, and that's always fun. But mostly, he likes to be a part of the game.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about it.
Don't we all? Hey, tell him we said thanks, all right, for 30 years of service. All right, John Newcomb officiating his last game after 30 years as an IHSA official. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Lee, as Janisha Gerald picks up the foul, trying to make the steal in the open floor. Fenwick going to work, trailing by a point. Allison Jackson still waiting for her to get herself started. She's been guarded by Brittany Thomas tonight. There's a deflection. Ahead to Tate. Nice move under the basket by Miranda Tate.
And that's where your turnovers turn into points. You just don't get back down the floor. That was a great look by Brittany Thomas.
And Dave Power wants a timeout. His team had a 4-point lead early in his quarter. It's been turned around here. A 19-16 Bolingbrook advantage, keyed by a three-pointer by Janisa Gerald.
And poor shot selection by Fenwick down the floor. They just aren't getting the shots they were getting in the first half.
Take a look at Dave Power, 705 wins. That puts him in the number 2 spot all time in coaches' wins. Of course, the legendary Dorothy Gators at 855 from Marshall. We've talked about Dennis Kester from Cutapolis. My partner Daryl Kipp sits there at 649. We saw Tom Deneen down here in the quarterfinals last night, checking in with 644 wins. Part of a great bunch of coaches that, I use legendary for the word Dorothy Gators, Daryl, but you amongst the others, all legends in this girls basketball game here in the state of Illinois.
And not compared to Dorothy Gators or not. We're just peons.
Closed captioning provided by Caption Associates, LLC. That's captionassociates.com. And we thank them for their assistance to make this broadcast possible for everybody. It's a lot of energy those fans expend over the course of a little over 24 hours. Very emotional time. You just get a little bit of a break between sessions, between games. You come back out and try to will your team, and in this case, will your team to a state championship. Now here in the state finals, coaches are allowed just 3 timeouts. Well, with all the other media timeouts, they get 3. So Dave Power realized that this was an important moment of this game to use one of his 3 timeouts.
Yeah, you have to really save those, and that's a big difference down here. This is a huge possession for Fenwick. They need to get a good shot, and that's what they needed right there, get the ball inside. That's the best shot they've taken the whole half.
Aaron Power with yet another assist. A 1-point game, 8 points for Peters. Nice catch inside by Woods. Her lefty shot won't go, and now Fenwick a chance for the lead on this trip.
That was a great cut, and she is left-handed, so she's coming right towards her strong hand. A little bit too tight off the back.
1-4 with Liston running it. She splits the traffic and lays it in. You have 4 seniors on the floor, and you tell your freshman, go do it. She did.
Told you she's terrific, one of the best I've seen.
Just like that, 4 straight points knocked on the board by the Fenwick Friars for the lead. Tate looks to answer. Harvey will track it down. Has Jackson ahead. And Gerald comes and breaks it up. Talk about running the floor. Take a look at this.
And Allison Jackson thinks she was fouled.
Jackson thought she felt skin on skin. Instead, Fenwick will have to inbound underneath their own basket. Underneath 2 to play in the third. No room for Jackson.
Fenwick just needs to be patient here and get a good look at the basket.
Strip again. Gerald. Tate. Tate again. And Fenwick with numbers.
Fenwick's got the break, got numbers.
Thomas, the foul. A lot of action end to end here in the last 30 seconds.
There's a lot of basketball on that block, but she came from behind. It's pretty tough to block a shot from behind.
Tricia Liston looking to boost the Fenwick lead. She's not missed in 5 attempts tonight. Kiera Marshall replaces Geralds here in the final minute and 17 seconds. Liston ties Peters for team scoring honors with 8. Fenwick comes from 3 down to go 3 up. Marshall rattles it in.
That's a big shot from her.
Under 60 left in the third quarter. That's where Liston scored moments ago.
It's a 1-4 low set. Fenwick's just going to be patient, I think. Trying to get a nice open look.
30 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Real hard to find a mismatch in this situation because they match up so well size-wise. So it's going to come down to who can execute.
Well, they have the ball in the person's hands they want it. Aaron Power, the clock moving at 8 seconds. Steal by Tate. She had time to make a little bit of a move, but instead the third quarter horn goes off. The state championship game comes down to 8 minutes. Fenwick, the 1-point lead at 22-21. You're not going anywhere. We'll pause and be back after these words from your local sponsors. Big Fenwick crowd here tonight, coming from Oak Park, and they're your Fenwick Friar cheerleaders. Their team has a 1-point lead at 22-21 as we enter the final 8 minutes here in the 2007 Girls State Championship basketball game.
Bolingbrook went on a run, and then Fenwick showed some resiliency by coming back and matching them. So they cut it down to 1 point. We'll see what happens in the final quarter.
And the key was when Dave Power called that timeout. His team down by 3. They got the easy bucket inside to Devereaux Peters, and then came down the next time and scored again.
Yeah, they got a good shot selection, worked the ball inside where they wanted to work it.
Peters will back it out. And we showed you those coaching victories, that list a little while ago. You can add Evan Massey from Galesburg to that list, over 650 career wins. Inside Liston. Thomas goes high for the board.
Bolingbrook got to get back.
Looking for the lead. I think you're going to get Adams here. Jackson goes down hard. Here are your third quarter stats brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Bolingbrook shooting just 7 of 25. That's 28%. Fenwick is capitalizing their 7 of 17 shots. Miranda Tate with 8 points for Bolingbrook. Listen to Peters.
And Bolingbrook's going to put on some full court pressure here, try and turn up the defensive situation a little bit.
Kiera Marshall stays in the game. She guards Harvey here at the top. Want to get inside of Jackson. There she is. In the face of Thomas. Thomas gets a hand to the ball, and Adams away with it.
Oh boy, there's a flagrant elbow by Maveline Adams.
Thomas between the circles. Down by a point. Last year, Bolingbrook, state champs, defeating Belleville Althoff 45-34. That was low scoring. This one takes it to another level. Catch inside by Adams. It's blocked inside by Peters. And we go back the other way. Liston, bounce, Jackson. Will not go. Again.
Stayed with it. Might be Allison Jackson's first basket of the night.
It's her second. She had one in the second quarter. Allison Jackson has been quiet. You mentioned that at halftime. 3-point lead belongs to Fenwick. Peters gets her hands on an Adams pass.
And that's the composure we talked about too. Marvin Adams, a very emotional player, and a couple of players went against her, and then she just kind of turned it over.
Harvey got caught in traffic and traveled. You know, you look at that possession for Fenwick. That was a big possession for the Friars right there. A chance to make it a 5-point game.
She had the opening, but she also could have dished the ball. The ball got caught on her hip.
Bolingbrook go back-to-back. Adams has another shot blocked.
Yeah, Adams is just trying to do too much on her own right now.
Devereaux Peters coming up big in more ways than one for the Fenwick Friars. She gets a pick. Contact with tape and rolls it in. Devereaux Peters, 6'3" senior, can handle the ball, and she has given Fenwick the 5-point lead. Travel, Thomas. The Fenwick fans come to their feet with a timeout on the floor. Fenwick, the 5-point lead at 26-21. Make sure you come back right after these words from your local sponsors. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited. And it's time to get it up and get it going right now. Whether you're Bolingbrook or whether you're Fenwick, there's 4:54 to play in this state championship ball game.
Pooh Gerald's has entered the game again. They're looking for a little bit more defensive pressure from her.
That's timeout number 2 used by Fenwick. No time has left the clock, but we're coming back to Redbird Arena right after this. McDonald's All-American Devereaux Peters with your Chevy Drive of the Game, brought to you by your Chevy dealers. Proud to support high school athletes and their families. Best of luck in the tournament from your winning Chevy team. You know, we take a look and we talk about Devereaux Peters, McDonald's All-American. Same with Allison Jackson. We saw Amy Jeske earlier in this tournament, and several All-Staters involved in this tournament as well. It's been a very, very talented tournament in terms of recognition and honors for players that have been here on this Doug Collins court this weekend.
There's a lot of good players in Illinois, and there's a lot of players receiving scholarships.
We'll look to ratchet up the defense here, down by 5. Offensive foul on Jackson. Remember, these two teams played back in the middle of January at the McDonald's shootout, 54-48. That was the Bolingbrook win. One of 2 losses suffered by Fenwick this year. The other, a 2-point loss to Marist. Bolingbrook's only loss came to Morton way back on November 25th.
And this is a huge possession.
Tate with the touch. Adams puts her head down, and that's an offensive foul. You know, and you pointed it out a little while ago, Marveline Adams trying to do too much right now.
Well, she's lost her composure, and it all came from one call that she didn't get. Then she made a mistake, wanted another call, and now she's just trying to do too much.
Ahead to Jackson, or to Peters rather. Peters running the floor. They're going to get Thomas crashing into Devereaux Peters.
Yeah, Devereaux did miss the layup, but came back and got the rebound.
There's a long pass thrown by Aaron Power that led to these 2 free throws. Are they going to give him 2? Nope.
No, it's out of bounds.
Right.
It's a good foul, really, because Devereaux probably would have got the ball and put it right back in.
That's the 6th team foul on Bolingbrook. Here's Jackson. Peters guarded by Adams.
That's not a good mismatch out on the floor. In by the basket, it's a little better, but not out on the floor.
Contact between two Bolingbrook players at the top. Clock moving, coming up on 3:45 to play. Peters used it. Harvey in a tough spot right here. Liston takes a pop to the head. That happened right here in front of us. She's going to laugh and shake it off. Adams picks up the foul. And it's bonus time. The free throw line for Tricia Liston. Anthony Smith will give Mauveline Adams a break.
He's going for a little more quickness now. Probably going to press all over the floor.
9 points for Tricia Liston, every one but 2 coming from the line tonight, where she has not missed. She and Peters in double figures, 10 each. More importantly, Fenwick the 7-point lead, 28-21. Bolingbrook's only scored 9 points in this second half. Thomas had the opportunity, now to Woods for 3.
She had a layup right there.
Loose ball to Thomas. And the feed inside. Miranda Tate. She has 10 points. Timeout called. 3:05 left. Fenwick lead is at 5. Bolingbrook will use one of their 3 timeouts. Fenwick has 1 remaining. We'll take a look back at that last play. Tate was looking to get a little contact there as well, but she'll settle for the kiss off the glass. We go into that Fenwick huddle.
Right now they're talking about just getting the ball in bounds. That's been a major problem for them in the last 2-3 possessions. But they threw along because Bolingbrook had no one back. They'll probably put someone back this time.
Yeah, but you take a look into that huddle. Everybody very calm. We look into Anthony Smith's huddle right here. Very relaxed with 3:05 to play here in this game. There it is. Everybody you see highlighted there involved in games that were played here today. Amy Jasty also played last night. Paige Federwitz from Johnsburg rounds out that first team All-State team.
And that's the AP team.
We talked about the McDonald's shootout at Willowbrook High School and how these two teams, Fenwick and Bolingbrook, met. Well, South Bend, Washington was there as well, and they have become the Indiana Class 4A state champs. 84-64 win over Columbus East. Sophomore Skylar Diggins with 27 points in that. So the McDonald's shootout once again, not only bringing the top teams in Illinois, but top teams in the country to Illinois and the greater Chicagoland area. Annual event held at Willowbrook High School in the middle of January over Martin Luther King weekend.
And here we didn't get the ball inbounds again. That's a serious problem for Fenwick.
See if Bolingbrook can capitalize here with 3 minutes on the clock. Camille Ramsey into the game for the Raiders. That'll be a push on Harvey. Only the second team foul, though, here in the second half for the Friars.
That's a big advantage because you have fouls to give on a drive. Bolingbrook's putting Brittany Thomas at the high post, trying to get her the ball so she can work around in there and either get a dish or a nice little basket going in there and get a foul.
Tiara Marshall into the game now for Bolingbrook. She's capable of knocking down a long-range shot. Fenwick zone, though, has been awfully stingy. Gerald's quickness on the baseline to Woods, but a whistle first.
And there's the advantage of having fouls to give. You're beat, you can take a foul, but it's 2:42 left. They got, I think, one more to give.
Actually, they have a few more to give. They only have 3 team fouls here.
Only 3.
There's Thomas at the high post. Finds Woods in the paint. And has made this a 3-point game. Her first 2 points of the night. And turnover will give the ball back to Bolingbrook. We have not left this end of the floor.
And that was a travel. You need to throw the ball on diagonals right to the person. You got to come back to the ball.
Thomas to create. Marshall loads up. Scrapping is Gerald's. Possession to Bolingbrook, and we will still stay on this end of the floor. Tanisha Gerald's, and that arrow's going to flip here in just a second. Marshall looked to tie with the 3. 3-point difference, 2:18 left in the AA championship game. Marshall looks. Big rebound inside by Liston. Harvey passes out of the trap. Tough place, pick up the dribble there. Gerald just half a step slow getting there. 1-1 coming up from the line.
Well, of all the shooters on the floor, you'd think you'd want Miranda Tate to be taking that shot, or possibly outside you'd want Samantha Woods. They're their best 2 3-point shooters on the team.
One and one for Power. Peters the offensive board. And now Jackson.
And Fenwick's just going to run a little clock here.
If they can. Liston, 2-on-1. There's Thomas again. A 2-on-1. Brittany Thomas stops it.
You wouldn't think that, but that's a great foul. That stopped a 2-point play down at the other end. Bolingbrook had a big run out.
1 minute, 43 seconds left. Anthony Smith checks that clock.
There's plenty of time to get the ball to one of your shooters. And that would probably be Tate or Woods on the outside.
There's Tate. Had it for just a fraction of a second.
And that's the last foul to give, I think, isn't it?
That should be the 15th foul. They'll have one more.
They still got one more?
Incredibly, they had one foul for probably the first 12 minutes of this second half. That is foul number 5.
It is 5. I thought that was 6.
Thomas enters to Gerald's. Bolingbrook chasing a 3-point deficit. See the time in the upper right-hand corner. 4th quarter clock. Where they want Tate on that left wing. Coming up on 60 seconds to play. Turnover. Fenwick, the ball, 60 seconds away from a state championship. Ahead to Jackson.
You don't need to score.
Foul from behind by Samantha Woods. And I wondered what Jackson was going to do. I didn't know whether she might just take it around on the baseline and reset.
It's just like a fumble in football. You want your players to catch the ball, jump on it, not try to take it to the basket right away. But luckily she got fouled.
Jackson has missed her only free throw attempt tonight. 2 coming right here. That's a big one. 4-point lead for the Friars. Maudeline Adams comes back in. Kiara Marshall goes out.
With Bolingbrook's defensive pressure, there's still a lot of time here to get back in the game, but they're going to have to come down and get a nice shot inside. 2 or 3 really doesn't matter.
It's back to a 5-point lead. With 45 to play. Woods deep. Rebound Jackson. Fouled from behind. And that is super bonus time coming up now for Allison Jackson with 40 seconds left and a 5-point advantage.
She's got a chance to make it a 3-possession game, which is going to make it almost insurmountable. Not impossible, but...
That's a 6-point difference. Marshall back in, Gerald's out for the Raiders. Jackson, 4 straight free throws here in the closing minute of play, has given Fenwick a 7-point lead.
They need a quick score.
Power uses up the last free foul they have. A lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to the foul situation early in the half, but we're seeing how it's all playing out right now.
The foul situation, possession arrows, they all mean a lot in games like this.
Marshall for 3. Adams, a one-handed rebound and stick back. Clock stops, 28.3. 5-point difference.
It's still 2 possessions.
Each team has a timeout left. And we saw what happened on the inbounds pass, or entry attempt pass, earlier on in this quarter that enabled Bolingbrook to climb back in it. So there are no gimmies here if you're Fenwick.
Well, what they need to do is set a pick, a good pick, and roll right back to the basketball so they can get the ball in bounds. Bolingbrook's going to foul immediately. So if you get the ball in bounds, you're in good shape. And usually the person that's open is the person that sets the pick, if it's a good one.
A couple of things working, and actually 3 things working in Fenwick's favor. Possession arrow, the foul situation, and obviously that score at 32-27.
And Bolingbrook only has one more time to stop the clock also.
Fenwick fans have really come out here in force. You know, and actually they enlisted the Morton fans. The Morton student body stuck around for this game. And all of a sudden there's an awful lot of people in that Morton section that have ditched red clothing for black.
They're wearing Fenwick t-shirts. I wonder if they went back to the bookstore and cleaned it out and brought them back.
2001, that's when Fenwick won their state championship. And that year, they defeated Neuqua Valley 65-32.
And one of their players is over on the bench, Sarah Kwasinski, one of their stars on that team that went to Northwestern. Played for Fenwick for Dave for the last 2 years after transfer from Resurrection.
Here comes the inbounds. Looking to go long again. The ball was deflected. Thomas has it taken away. Here's Peters. And that could ice it. Exchange of turnovers comes the other way. The strength of Devereaux Peters. She finishes and could finish this game in a big way. It's a 7-point lead for Fenwick with 20 seconds left.
I got to tell you, in the 26 years I've been coaching and been to the state tournament, this is one of the most enthusiastic, excited, and fun to watch crowds with Morton and Fenwick. They are really putting something into the whole tournament scene.
3-point play for Devereaux Peters, 35-27. Tate, Thomas, Adams, Peters. Thomas tried for the strip, initiates the contact, 5.2 seconds left, and a celebration is beginning. And the Fenwick Friars bench on the floor and definitely in the stands. Two free throws for Harvey. State champs in 2001. In 2003, finishing second in Naperville Central, one of the classic championship games of all time, losing in overtime, 63-59. Thomas. And your 2007 state champions, the Fenwick Friars.
This has got to be one of the most satisfying, with Aaron playing on the team for Dave.
From experience, there is nothing like coaching your own son or daughter. And how about you get to claim that state championship in the final game of your daughter's high school career? But you know what? Every one of those people in white jerseys are Dave Howard's daughters right now.
That's right.
The loss to Bolingbrook in the middle of January, a distant memory right now. 35-27, that's what it's going to go down in the record books. Fenwick, your 2007 state champs.
And Dave told me that wasn't the game that counted. He really didn't even play that game the way he was going to play this one. And you can see the kids came out with a lot of intensity, and they really executed in this game.
They had just brief moments where maybe they lost a little bit of composure, but other than that, it was a solid performance all night long.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's been games in my career I can remember where I lost on purpose because I knew I was going to play a game, and that's the truth. And Dave came out, he had a game plan for this one, and he just saved it for the last game.
Let's check in with Dave Power in Lee Hall right now.
All right, thanks a lot. First, I have to give him his bearings. You're in Normal, Illinois, all right, and you just won the state championship.
Oh, God. I'm so proud of our girls. You know, the seniors, Holly Harvey, what a great tournament, unsung hero. Allison Jackson, Deborah Peters, Aaron Power, and how about that freshman Trish Liston? They must have had to go the whole distance 2 games in a row. Defense is what wins the big games, and today we played tremendous defense. We played with a lot of heart. I'm so proud of these girls. What a way to go out for these seniors.
You had a little trouble getting the ball in there for a while, made it a little exciting.
Well, you know, Bolingbrook's a great team, but we are also a great team, and I told our girls, you know, being coming in a little bit of the underdog was good for us. We're tired of that number 1 stuff, and we want to be number 1 now at the end, and that's what our goal was all along. Be number 1 right now when it counts, get the trophy with the net on it.
Your 3rd state title as a head coach, your 2nd at Fenwick, but your 1st with your daughter Erin.
So special with Erin and what leadership she provided for this team. But it was a great team effort, I'll tell you. Our crowd, how about that dancer, huh? The support. Yeah, you got a good workout. But just for our community, our administrative, so supportive, Mike Curtin, athletic director, but for our whole community, our whole Fenwick family, this is just a tremendous evening for us. I'm so proud of them.
Say hi to Dad.
Dad, I know you're watching this on the internet. I love you, man. Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry he couldn't make it. He made every one but this one, but I know he's watching. I'll get him on the cell phone soon.
All right, congratulations, Dave. All right, fantastic.
I don't know where I am, but
Normal, Illinois, I got you. Devereaux Peters, our country insurance player of the game, 13 points, 10 boards. What a hard-fought game. What a classic championship game.
Yeah, Bolingbrook's an awesome team. It's like one of those exciting games you want to play in for the championship, and we just pulled it out.
You had a little trouble getting the ball in bounds. What was key for you tonight?
Just playing hard, just doing what Fenwick does, play hard, come out in second half hard, and don't let them get back in the game. That's our main thing.
Congratulations and go Irish.
Thank you.
All right, Devereaux Peters, our country insurance player of the game. Back to you, Dave.
All right, it's those moments that just make these kind of moments, the big moments, so special. The extra little emotion that is tied in with everything. Daryl, you've been here. You know what it's like.
It's awesome, and you know, you can just tell that this is probably the most excited Dave's ever been with any of these championships. I mean, he's a great guy. He does a great job with the kids, and the kids all love him, and he couldn't be more deserving.
Let's check in now with our Menards Hardware Trophy presentation.
Athletic trainer Gina Younts. Head coach Anthony Smith. Assistant coach Carter Larry. Assistant coach Evan Burkott. Assistant coach Willie Smith. And manager Aaron Woods. And now let's meet the Raiders, number 3, Kia Rhodes. Number 10, Tiffany Hashimoto. Number 12, Kiara Marshall. Number 14, Satavia Taylor. Number 15, Samantha Woods. Number 20, Janisha Geralds. Number 22, Brittany Thomas. Number 24, Letitia Morgan. Number 30, Camille Ramsey. (32) Rebecca Calloway. (34) Nicosia Henry. Number 40, Shantina Boyd. (42) Madison Tate. Number 44, Miranda Tate. Number 50, Maubeline Adams. And trainer Gina Younts. At this time, let's meet the Friars of Fenwick High School, who finished the season in first place with a final record of 36 wins, 2 losses. First, meet the principal of Fenwick High School, Dr. James Quaid. Now, Dr. Quaid will assist. Let's meet Superintendent Father Richard Lapata. Athletic Director Michael Curtin. Athletic Trainer Dana Seibel. Head Coach Dave Power. Assistant Coach Dale Heidloff. Assistant Coach Sarah Kwasinski. Assistant Coach Bill Power. Assistant Coach Pat Vandewall. And Assistant Coach John Weaver. And now here are the Friars. Number 4, Candace Ruff. Number 5, Colleen Forkin. Number 10, Holly Harvey. Number 11, Lauren Gula. Number 12, Allison Jackson. Number 14, Devereaux Peters. Number 15, Serafina Nuzzo. Number 21, Aaron Power. Number 22, Gabby Cozy. Number 23, Morgan Price. And number 32, Trisha Liston. And now will Coach Anthony Smith and the captains of Bolingbrook High School please step forward to receive the second place trophy. And now will Coach Dave Power and the captains of Fenwick High School please step forward to receive the first place trophy. Congratulations to the Friars of Oak Park Fenwick, the 2007 state champions.
It was the trophy with the net wrapped around it that Dave Power wanted, and he got it. There's your state champions. We're not done yet. Come on back to Redbird Arena right after this.
(35-27) Oak Park Fenwick, your state champion girls Class AA basketball here in Normal, Illinois. Welcome back to Redbird Arena. Kurt Pegler along with, I almost forgot your name, Chris Borse from Sandburg High School. I'm sorry, Chris. Tom McKenna from St. Ignatius in downtown Chicago. We were maybe thinking we were going to have a track meet, and we did not because the defenses really got after it, didn't they?
Both defenses did a great job. And on offense, they did a good job controlling the ball. And some of the time the shots weren't falling. It was 39-29 in the shooting percentage, with Bolingbrook shooting the 29%. That was the difference in the game.
And these teams really got after it defensively. I know that people are going to look at the shooting percentages and say that it was ugly. It was a championship game. It was a heavyweight fight like we thought.
It was. They were slugging it out. I think it was a very exciting game. We did go down to almost the final possession, which we basically expected. It's just that the shooting percentages were off by a little bit. But it was a great game and a very exciting game.
And when you look at Devereaux Peters, 13 points, 10 rebounds, she answered the bell tonight.
She definitely did. She played a great game tonight, and she had a great tournament overall. She's just a force inside that you got to reckon with. You know, you go in there. She had a ton of blocks during the whole tournament. She just did a great job.
We're going to send it downstairs now and see what the guys have to do courtside. Again, the final score 35-27. Fenwick is your state champ. Let's go downstairs now.
Thank you very much, Kurt. You know, you take a look at this game. Daryl, not many points scored. In fact, several records set in the title game. You take a look at them right there. These are your title game records. Fewest points scored in a game by both teams, 62 the previous one. Last year, Bolingbrook and Belleville-Altoff, it was 79 points a game. And then the fewest points scored by a winning team, Fenwick with 35, it was enough. Hinsdale Central Marion Catholic a few years ago at 43. And then finally the fewest points scored by a single team, that was 27 here tonight, Bolingbrook, and that knocked off the record. And then Naperville, Neuqua Valley against Fenwick a few years ago. And Daryl, you know, we talk about Fenwick, but step back a moment here with Bolingbrook. Take a look at the run they've had the last 3 years. A fourth place finish, state champs, and now number 2. That's pretty good numbers behind your name.
It's pretty good. It's a good situation. Tony Smith's done a good job with those kids. So the difference in this game, I think, was Coach Power. Coach Power did 2 awesome things as far as the coaching end. Number 1, he stole minutes with Sarah Nufino and Laura Gulo coming in right at the end of the first half and saved the fouls. And the other thing was the big timeout he called. Right after the timeout, he set up the play, and they settled down, they ran it. Aaron Power got a nice pass inside to Devereaux Peters, and that turned the whole game around.
We take a look at this tournament here, but we've got a whole lot more coming up for you next week. We'll just take it all down to I-74 into Peoria, the Class A boys basketball tournament. And then 2 weeks from this weekend, we wrap up that great month of March with the boys AA basketball tournament coming to you from Carver Arena right there in Peoria. And as far as Fenwick is concerned, they've been downstate 6 times since the year 2000. They brought all sorts of hardware down back home to Oak Park, including a couple of state championship trophies.
Dave does a great job with them. And I said earlier in the year that there's a lot of hamburger helpers. They're all Big Macs right now.
There you go. Well, that's going to do it here for our girls AA coverage. Congratulations to all the teams who made it down here, especially those young ladies in the white jerseys. Fenwick, your state champs in 2007.